And we are live. It is 30 with Karen and Justin, and it is Thursday at 1 p.m. It's the time. We're good to go. So here we are. Today we're joined by Jennifer Quong from Tommy Guns in Burlington. Uh, love that name, by the way. I think that's the coolest name. Jennifer's story isn't a straight line, though. She went from being a school principal to stepping into business ownership right in the middle of COVID when most people were trying to hold things together and not start something new. It's always tough. Since then, she and her husband have built 2 locations and stay deeply connected to the Burlington community through everything they do. And we're going to hear what that transition really looked like, what franchising might have been like behind the scenes, and what she learned along the way, if that makes sense. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks so much for having me. Been excited to
Excellent.
get on here and share a little bit.
Now, let me just start with this. Do you actually cut hair? Because you could say no, because I understand from a business owner perspective, not every business owner does the thing that they own.
Yeah, no, I do not cut hair actually.
Cool. So
Um,
you saw an opportunity in a market with a franchise, and that led you to this place. But what was it about your principling that made you kind of go, heck, I could do a business? Like, was there something that kind of tweaked with you, or was it a lifelong thing? Where did that come from?
yeah, so when my husband and I moved to Ontario, we came from out west where Tommy Guns originates from, and we just found a small like maybe gap that could be filled by something that was community oriented and all inclusive. There's amazing other places out there, but there just wasn't something like this that
Mm.
we were particularly looking for. And we thought if we were looking for something, likely other people similar to us were looking for something. And so why not try to fill a void? So I had kind of left the school board in that transition, moving to Ontario. And I thought, well, we went through the question and answer with Tommy Guns about being a good franchisee and your backgrounds. And as I was going through the questionnaire, I realized a lot of my experience in training and education is transferable. So things
Mm.
like hiring and professional development and HR and one-on-one meetings and goal setting and occupational health and safety and meeting ministry standards and guidelines. All of those are pretty the same. I just took it from, dealing with parents and education to dealing with parents and their kids' haircuts. But a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, very similar.
So how did you find Tom? Like, what was it about Tommy Guns that attracted you to it?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We actually get that a lot. I do a lot of the new franchisee kind of meet and greets
Mm.
for Tommy Guns in Ontario. And it was really the people that control the organization at the top. So there's a lot of choices out there. And what my husband and I wanted was something that was community oriented and small enough that we weren't a number.
Mm.
I have friends that have Tim Hortons and, it's so huge. It's so corporate entity. That wasn't what we were going for. We really wanted to stay connected to our community. We wanted to set some roots in Burlington. We wanted something where we could be part of something. And when we started on that road with Tommy Guns, it's a Canadian owned and operated organization. It is owned by a family at the highest level. The VPs and the EVPs are brothers and brother in laws. And still to this day, I can pick up the phone and call any one of them and say, hey, I don't think this is working. Can we talk about it? And they'll be like, yes, we can. What do you think? And it has been a very collaborative and super community oriented and supportive process the entire time. That's what we were looking for. And that's kind of what they offered. And they really stood by it every step of the way.
And so was there ever a thought, and I'm not, obviously you love Tommy Guns. Was there ever a thought like, hey, maybe we could do our own thing as opposed to a franchise? What was that decision like?
Yeah, there was that thought. I come from a very entrepreneurial family. So we've had restaurants, car dealerships, John Deere dealerships. Like my brother owns an arborist company. Like it's just in our nature, I guess. Um, but when it came to this, I really liked that there was somebody working as a group on some of those bigger things, like all of the paperwork and all of the regulatory things and marketing and
Mm.
um, graphic design and SEO and Google
Right.
this and Google that. And those are my areas that I wasn't super familiar with. And I was like, you know what, they're gonna meet me there. What I know I'm good at is people and culture and climate. I hope our quality, I stand by our quality. We like 100% satisfaction guaranteed, right? When you come in the shop, and we stand by it. Our staff is amazing. They do their very, very best. And I knew I would be good at the people side and the delivery
Mm.
side. It was nice to have that kind of admin support as you get started in a new industry.
This is so here's what I'm hearing, and I just want to make sure we really drive home this message here, because this is a really important business message for a lot of people, myself included, in our business and any business, quite frankly. Is you saw your zone of genius, understood where that was, and didn't have too much of an ego to say I can do all the other things too, and found a place where you could leverage their systems and models to be
Yep.
able to allow you to do the thing that you do best.
Yeah,
Right.
pretty
And
much.
so it's like an all-in-one stop for you to do that. That's why franchising works for a lot of people, I think, in a lot of ways, quite frankly.
I think it does. And I think franchising sometimes gets a bad rap as being not local. And that's 100% not true in my personal two businesses. They are local. They are owned by my family. We live and reside in Burlington.
Mm.
Our revenue goes back into Burlington. We hire people from Burlington. We support multiple hockey teams, football teams, curling clubs, you name it. We give back. We work with Burlington Together and Burlington Connected, and the Levy initiative. Like I really love giving back. It's something I pride myself on, and this allows me to do that at like the core value. So franchising isn't always about a corporation, making the big money and not looking after the little guy. Some
But you
franchise,
also but you also made a very informed decision based on what you've already said to say
yeah,
I wanted to get something that was boutiquey, family oriented, sort of felt like comfortable for me.
yeah,
Right. And I think that's the important piece. I think when you're making a decision when it comes to any business, you want to do something that makes it comfortable for you. There's something to be
yeah,
said for being outside of your comfort zone in the effort and the work, but the systems and the models and the way the thing is run has to fit for you to be happy.
yeah.
Like,
No, 100%. And I didn't have to worry about computer software programming or an IT emergency hotline number
mm,
and what products to carry and what sales to put on. And, that was amazing. It took all of that headache off my plate and it allowed me to focus on those core values that are, like you said, important to me. And it works. It works for us for sure.
was there anything that you felt was harder than you expected walking into this?
Hiring, staffing. Staffing is always it continues to blow my mind, how challenging that is. It took us quite a while to get our core team.
Mm.
We have an amazing core team now. I love our culture. I love our team. I love our climate that we have in both the shops. But it takes a while to get there. And it's not a negative thing. There's just different people. They've got different vibes, different ways of doing things. Some people work and some people don't. And you wish those that don't work the very best and wherever they land, they just might not work for you. And that's okay. And it took me a little while to realize that it's just not okay if this isn't for everybody. We'll find our people. It took a long time to find our people, but we do now. But staffing has always been and will probably continue to be something that's more challenging. The biggest challenge I found recently is we were looking for a guest services person. I put the ad out in Indeed, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And with all the AI, it's fantastic and super supportive, but I got like 400 applications. And
Oof,
I'm like, this is
Jesus.
not manageable. So
No.
I went through as many as I could. We interviewed a bunch. Things didn't work out, whatever. I think I'm going back to old school. I'm going to put a sign in the window. Hey, looking to hire guest services. Um, it's just so overwhelming for a single person to do. And I just think that hiring is changing and it's evolving. And so you just got to adapt and change with it and learn what works for you. But riding that wave has been challenging.
Well, let's be honest. The reason why you got 400 applications is because of AI, because these people that are applying now can just and send it all
Exactly.
out. And it's not hand typed or handwritten or whatever. It's all AI generated stuff. And they're just
Yep.
funneling it like a fire hose into your face.
Exactly. I did actually manage through that fire hose to find three amazing new members to our team in the last
Cool.
month. And so super happy that they've landed with us. I think they're going to do great things.
What do they say? They say fire fast and hire slow, right? And you used a really great word a few minutes ago. You said culture. You said culture. And I love the idea of that. I think that's the most important thing. Culture sets the tone for everything. We have a I can't think of the word now, but it's basically all of the things that we live by. I can't
Mhm.
think of what it's completely escaped me, and it'll come to me in a few minutes. And I've got something in my eye at the same time. So for people watching, I apologize for keep taking my glasses off. But the last thing on that list for me is it says just dance.
Mhm.
Right. I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff like be radically accountable for your own work and your ethic and things like that. And the important things, but just dance. Like I'm a goof
Yeah.
and I like to have fun
Mhm.
within a serious framework. I like to have fun. And if you're not vibing with me and the way we do things, that's okay.
Yeah. It's
I don't
okay.
mind. You can
Yeah.
choose, or, and a lot of times what will happen is people self select out in those moments for
Yeah.
themselves because they're just not comfortable. They're like, yeah, this doesn't, and you
Yeah.
don't even have to fire somebody.
Exactly. But that's through communication too, and I believe it's best done through communication and like open lines of communication require mutual respect. And if you have both those things and your staff are willing to come and talk to you, then you can help them navigate that in a really positive way without ever having to be too negative. And that's something that's important. Yeah, we
I
like to
love it.
think that both our shops are really inclusive and open to anyone in the community. Grandpa as well down to your kid's first haircut. We've got a number of people that frequent us that have children with special needs, and we do everything we can to meet their needs and to make sure they have a positive experience. My staff is patient and kind. They work together as a team. Really proud of them, and it took us 5 years through COVID to get here, and I'm hoping for a good next positive 5 years in the future.
I'll tell you, I did experience your shop. I don't know if you know that or not. I don't know if you
Yeah,
saw the
I
little
mean,
the thing I won at the golf thing we were at a few months ago
yeah,
or whatever. I brought in and I did experience your shop. I wish I could remember the girl's name. I apologize. She had pink hair at the time. She may not have pink hair now. You know who I'm
jazz.
talking about. Jess.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing. So the thing is that I've been to a lot of places, right? And there's nothing more awkward than sitting in that chair quietly for 30 minutes while you're it's all happening.
Yeah.
She was awesome. She was comfortable. She made me feel good about my hair, and the way things were going. And she had cool little stories to tell, or we talked about our children or whatever it was. Like she was
Yeah.
able to carry it together. And I think that's the most important piece in a place like this, customer service, right? And
Yeah.
so all of these things we've talked about kind of connect together to that communication piece where even communicating with customers in a relevant way, whether it's a 90-year-old man getting his haircut or a 10-year-old
Mhm.
boy that, is terrified of the scissors or the buzzer in their head, which I'm sure
Exactly.
happens sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
And we
important.
have a really diverse staff between like both the shops. So I own both the shops in Burlington.
Mm,
We have some staff that go between the two. Most staff stay within their home shop. And that's because their clients prefer that. The clients like to know where they are and what days they work. So we do our very best to keep the staff's schedule the same week to week and in the same location so our clients can predict when they want to see their barber if they have a particular barber that they like. But because our staff is so diverse, we've got a little bit of everything. We've got really chatty barbers. We've got kind of quieter barbers. We've got barbers that are super into sports. We've got barbers that are really into history. And that communication piece is huge. And people find the person that they like to share their story with. It really is about storytelling and connection. And that's what we want to stand behind, the connection that our clients have with not just their barber, but our barbers and our guest services. It's how we kind of are in and out of each other's lives. And when you come back, they remember to say, "Hey, how was that wedding?" Or "Did your son win that baseball tournament?" And we build on that, and that's why we see retention because people like to come in and talk to us and share their stories, and we like to hear them.
and then there's the experience too, right? So
Yeah.
Tommy Gun seems to separate themselves a little bit with the experience that you get when you're in there. I mean, I know I don't want to crap on other stores, but other stores have just a different way of doing things, quite frankly.
Mhm.
And so talk to me a little bit about what is so special about the Tommy Guns experience versus whatever else.
Yeah, so Tommy Guns has initiated the like TG experience, and it's every guest every time is kind of our motto.
Mm,
And we have our price for a haircut, but it includes everything else. So you don't have to continually add on things. But some of our differentiators in the marketplace, so we say to speak, is that you get a really a good consultation. We can do whatever you need as far as hair, beard, including facials. But every single haircut includes a hair wash which is also includes a 2-minute head massage. Everyone gets to watch TVs in their mirrors while they're in the chairs if they want, or they can ask to have them turned off too. And everybody gets a hot towel finish. There's nothing better than a great hot towel finish after a haircut to just like loosen up those neck muscles and make you feel extra ready to take on your day. And there's a complimentary beverage when you exit. Those are kinds of the things that we just do that are just a little bit above and beyond. While you're waiting, both shops have video games to entertain kids and grown-ups alike. I love the Pac-Man. It's currently my high score. Um, and both shops are licensed for alcohol. So if you're
Oh,
coming in the afternoon and you've got a long wait and you want to grab a cold beer or seltzer, you can do that too. Applebee is 100% up and running. Haddon Forest just completed its paperwork and we'll have that running in the next week or so.
oh.
So just a few extra little things that we think we do that are over and above that just separate us from the masses. But it's really the client attention to detail.
It has an old timey feel with like a very modern touch to it. Is the only way I can
Yeah,
explain it. You know,
it's a
you're
good
like I have this vision of memory. There's an old movie called The Untouchables, and there's you probably don't remember it, but it's kind of a bit of an action movie with Kevin Costner. And at one point, Al Capone is getting his hair done, and he's laying in the chair, and he's got the whole thing on his face with the white, and they're shaving him. And I just have that sense of like you could like transplant this into that movie, and it would be the
yeah.
same sort of feel, but obviously too modern because of the TVs and the mirrors
Yeah,
and such.
but
But
definitely the feel that we were going for, a classic
yeah,
barbershop where
yeah,
people come to spend some time. The straight razor shave that you're talking about is something that we do a ton of.
yeah,
Not everybody does that,
yeah.
and so that's something that we definitely do. So people love it, and we do the whole head shaves. We've got our new lather machine. It's like warm and super foamy. It's like people absolutely love the straight razor shave once you've had one. So again, another different service that we have.
That's cool. But it's one of those things where again, when you're selecting a franchise and you're looking at all the pieces, it's
Mhm.
important to test and try it out. I'm sure you probably had tried them out west, I'm assuming when you were there. And so it
Yeah,
all
yeah.
makes sense, right?
Yeah, we say that we're like your typical client turned owner. Like out west, Tommy Guns was pretty much everywhere, and it's where everyone went. It's where when we moved, my son was 12. It's where he went. It's where all his friends went. It's where my husband went. And when we came here, we're like, oh my god, they need something like this. This would be amazing here, and it has been because it
Mm,
just is slightly different. They call it mastige. So it's something that's open to the masses, but a little bit more prestigious than
yeah.
just anything because we've got like the cool ambiance and the video games and all these extra services and add-ons that you can do like our hair detox or our facial waxing services. Like there's just a couple little add-ons that make it more than just a general haircut.
I would also suggest that it seems like the community has really picked up on what you're doing and you've ingratiated yourself into them, as you said earlier, with the Burlington Together and Connected and things like that. And you know, how has that been important to you and how has that helped you grow? And as a
Yeah.
franchise owner, like, would you recommend like really diving into that kind of thing?
Yeah, I so when we opened, they were doing tons of like national campaigns and all that Google algorithm stuff and I kind of took it upon myself to say, well, I think I should do things a little different.
Mm.
I feel like that's not personal enough for me or for my taste and so I called it micro marketing. I just made it up. I don't even know if that's a thing.
I'll go
Um,
with it. I love it. I love
and
it.
I went local, like, I went micro local. I got on Facebook and I found mom groups and school groups, and I
Mhm.
reached out. I explained who I was and what I was trying to do and what I had to offer, and we gave out discounts, and we did, like, this for graduations. We've given free haircut cards to high schools to give out to kids that can't afford haircuts for graduation. No one knows it. They come in, it doesn't look like any other coupon or whatever, but it's just our way of staying involved and making Burlington just a greater, even better place to live because everyone has been so supportive and so wonderful. And we just like to do that and to give back. And we find that the people of Burlington are really loyal customers and they want people that are involved in making the city better. And that's just something that I like to do naturally. So that's kind of how we've gotten involved in some of these more Burlington centric groups and organizations. And I think it's amazing. My kids are both, they both, when they were in competitive sports in Burlington. We're always looking for sponsorships. It's something I love to do. We give back all the time to all the hockey teams and lots of different sports clubs. And we'll set up banners and we'll put up tents and we'll do barbecues. And I think I'm just a social person. And so I enjoy being at those events and getting to know people too, which just really naturally fits with my personality. So it's fun.
What I love about it is, first of all, the first part of what you talked about, which was the Facebook and joining local groups and things like that and offering discounts. That's a very high level Gary V style marketing, which you probably don't even realize. I don't know if you know or not, but one of his whole things is like go to groups and go to influential people in these groups, invite them to
Mhm.
you for a free haircut or something. And
Yeah.
then they come to you and talk about it to other people, and that can explode you right from there. But not only that, the second part of it is I'm really finding in this world right now, we're kind of getting online fatigue when it comes to
Yeah.
marketing.
Yeah.
And
I
what
agree.
you're essentially saying is I took it offline in a lot of ways
Yeah.
and back to the basics of what we all used to do back in the day, just face-to-face stuff, being involved in things,
Yep.
which a lot of us don't have time for or claim to not have time for, which we
Yep.
should be making more time for, and hammered that, which is amazing. Right.
Yeah.
And some
And
of
it's
the relationships that I've heard from you about, but I've heard from other people about you and how good you are is
thanks.
incredible. Like, honestly, you've done amazing. So,
Thanks. No, and Burlington's a great community and they support each other and that's amazing. But I found that there was a lot of fatigue in that digital media marketing. And I just didn't think it was personal enough. I felt like the barber shop is a place about people. And it
mm,
was about relationships and those conversations. And what best way to get people in to try that is to have the actual conversation, just like you said. And so we put ourselves out there and it's been going really well. And we really do. We still continue to grow that way. Word of mouth and organic growth has been our number one predictor of growth in the marketplace for both locations is referrals.
mm.
Somebody came in, they had a great time, they told their friend. The friend came in, he had a great time, he told a friend. That's how we've seen our growth come. And that's because it's a service industry, like you had mentioned earlier. You're providing a service. When you're providing a service, the best kind of predictor of that service going to be good or bad or not isn't whether I had a banner ad, but whether your neighbor went there and told you that it was a good time and they were nice people. And so, yeah, we've gone back to kind of that local area referral based, we're involved, we care about you approach.
And it's
It's
the
been
type of industry, it's also the type of industry you can't replace with a computer,
yeah,
right?
that's
Like
true.
you're never going to replace a hairstylist with a computer for now. I mean, maybe at
For now.
some point machines or robots will do it, but I don't
Yeah.
know. That seems a bit dicey to me.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd want a robot next to
Don't
my head
test
with
on
some
me first.
things.
If someone was watching today and is thinking about buying a franchise or starting a business like you did, what would you want them to understand first? What's like one piece of advice you could leave them with today?
that you're only going to do as good as what you're going to put in. So the investment that you're going to put in is going to directly correlate how much you get out of it. And that it's the most enjoyable when you see the fringe benefits and it's not just for money. Like purely financial ROI isn't necessarily what's going to make you a happy business owner. You have to do it because you're passionate about whatever that business is. Like I said, I'm not a barber or a hairstylist, but I am passionate about people and community and culture. And so I love what we do. I love being in the shops talking to people when I'm working behind the front desk. And it's just, I'm in my element. And that's why it's fun. So I would say you got to find something that fits with who you are and what you enjoy. And that's going to be different for everybody.
I love that. I love that. And the idea that, the first part of what you just said there, where, you have to really just dive in but the time is less about money in a lot of ways. You
Yeah.
got to put money in, but
Yeah.
it's like the time. If you're going to just press play and set it and forget it,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not going to go anywhere. Right. I think
No, it'll go, but it's not going to go as good as if you're driving the ship,
yeah,
and if you're going to own something that is a community centered business, then you got to stand behind what you're doing and you got to be present. And I feel like we are. So we try really
no
hard to be.
question.
It's
No
a
question.
human-based business. I'm like, obviously, we're not perfect. We strive to be perfect, but we're not going to be perfect every day of every hour of every haircut. But we do strive on that satisfaction guaranteed. Like, come back. I know some people are really like weary about that. They're like, well, I don't want to have the barber be upset that maybe made a mistake because they're also human beings. You're like, no worries, we're a team. When they come on to Tommy Guns, every barber comes with their own artistic approach and perspective to each haircut and to the steps that they use to complete that haircut. But they are trained through what we call Tommy Guns University on the basic core elements of
Mm.
the 12 cut collection plus the extras that come through, like the broccoli cut, like we add on as we see new trends approaching, and they have to do these videos. So you're going to find a very similar approach no matter who you see. They're going to be little different details because they're artists essentially. But it's never they work together. So, you know, barber A will help barber B and vice versa. So it's easy. We just want to make everybody happy. If you're not happy, give us a call and we'll do anything we can because that's who we are.
I just love how genuine and just so adorable you are. Like, you genuinely care, and I think that's the best part about it, right? I mean, dumping some money into, like I said, dumping some money into something and trying to make it go without the genuine want to do something special. I don't know. Just has
Yeah.
a weird feel about it, and I love what you're doing, and I love everything about it. So I think what we'll do is we'll put a booking link and all the details below. So if anybody wants to try them out for the first time, there'll be a booking
Yeah.
link below. And then we'll get people in the store because it's I've been there. I can stand by it. The experience for me was great. Actually, the thing that was cool for me was I was a walk-in and they were stacked busy that day. I live around the corner from the store and they said, "Hey, we're going to call you when you're ready with a 5 to 10 minute window and you can come down." So I didn't have to wait even in the store.
Yep.
I've never had that before.
No, we actually have an app. So we have an
Yeah.
app right now. There's going to be a brand new app coming out in a few weeks, but you can actually log in, pick Head in Forest, which is the north location at Dundas and Walkers, or Appleby, which is our south location at Appleby and New Street. And you can actually log in, select your barber, select your service, put yourself in queue from home, and then just come down when the app tells you to.
That's
Now,
awesome.
there's going to be people out there that's like, I did that and I got there. And I know that's why there's a new app coming in 2 weeks. It's
Right.
always being updated and it's not perfect. But it is a really great way to get in when you don't want to wait in the shop necessarily. We don't do appointments. That's the one thing that is a little bit different than everywhere else. We don't do appointments for lots of reasons. The majority of the time is that people are really bad at showing up at them. So we don't. And men, for all intents and purposes, are kind of last minute.
We are.
Um,
That's what
so
I did. I was like, you know what? Screw this. I got this thing in my pocket. I'm literally driving by the plaza. I'm pulling in. That's it.
yeah,
That's what I
that's
did.
awesome. That's how most men come in. They're like, I just was driving around and decided, get a haircut today.
Yeah, like my
So
hair is over my ear too much today. I'm just going
yeah,
in.
yeah. So we like to accommodate that men train of thought. It's what we do.
That's
So
amazing.
but there's lots of convenient ways to check in and show up. If you're a guy that loves like that once a month cleanup, we have a membership package that we offer. It's really cool. It brings our haircut down to $29.99.
Hmm.
If you want to come once a month, you can talk to any of our guest services about that. That's one more extra thing we're doing in the community. We're actually piloting it in Burlington for Tommy Guns National right now.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah. So it gives you a few extra perks too. You get like little add-ons and you get discounts on
This is
retail.
like the car wash pass now. I love this.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it is. But it was just a way for us to try something else. The membership package actually came out because prices kept going up. Minimum wage is going to go up again. Our prices are probably going to go up again because it's the reality of the world and business. If hydro's up and freight is up and gas is up and minimum wage goes up, there really isn't a choice. I'm not walking home with extra money. It's usually just to cover the basics. And we were like, well, what can we do for our really diehard customers? How can we, do something to really show that we appreciate them? And so we came up with the membership package. It keeps their prices $10 cheaper just because you're loyal. So
It's
we wanted to
amazing.
do something for those loyal customers. That's where the birth of the membership came from.
But again, like, this is the future of a lot of things. Like, we're kind of
Yeah.
circling back around to your trend setting now again for this industry, because I don't think I've ever seen that before. I've had a
Yeah.
discussion with mechanics about doing a membership package where they have
Yeah.
mechanic like certain things covered in this membership package, right? And I think that's a brilliant idea. It
Yeah.
creates loyalty in general because if I'm members at a gym and I have to go cancel it to get out of, I'm just going to go to that gym.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like that's the whole thing. That's what they do online with us all the time. You sign up
Yeah.
for stuff. If you don't undo it, you're paying every month. But at the same
Yeah.
time, you provide an incredible service that genuinely like piques people's interest. And
Yeah.
I think it's the future of a lot of things in this industry. And I think this is incredible. And I'm probably going to look into this now at this point
All right. That's
because I
awesome.
love the idea, like in my industry, because I'm such a face forward person.
Yeah.
Just having it all cleaned up regularly is so much easier than waiting 2 months and then looking like a shaggy dog.
It is. You got to keep yourself on point.
There you go. I love it. Well, Jennifer, you're awesome. You're just like a trendsetter and a wicked business person in the community. And I appreciate everything you've done for our community as a whole, because I know you've done some amazing things on top of
Yeah.
all this. And I know there's a lot of thankful people for you. So, there's a lot of comments already on the advertising post we did, like, oh my God, she's amazing. So it's like,
No, that's awesome. I read some of them. I was like, oh my God, that made me feel so good today.
yeah.
Like it genuinely made my day. I was like, oh my gosh, people are
You know
so
what?
nice.
It's free to be nice. It doesn't cost
It is.
anything. So it's good that
Just be
people did
kind.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree.
So
100%.
have a good day, everyone. We're going to put all the links to get in touch with these folks below, and go out there and get your hair cut, because it's really a fun experience at Tommy Guns. This is your advertising at the end here. There we go. Thanks, everyone. See you next week. Talk to you soon.